Okay, I guess my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes.
Okay. Just give me a minute. Let me connect from my computer as well. Then we are going to continue. Meanwhile, you guys answer some of the questions. Okay. The questions which I'm marking here, you guys have to answer them in the chat box. Okay. Question number 1, question number 2. Then you are going to answer question number 4. This question is 5. Okay. Then question number 7, you are going to answer this much. Okay, now answer question number 8 also.
Sir, in the chat box.
Yeah, in the chat box.
So the other account is not there. So should we answer in MD sole account?
On that ID, is the other ID not visible?
No, sir.
Why is that so? Okay, actually the problem is because I haven't joined actually now. The problem is I can't connect my computer from the Wi-Fi network today. I don't know why that is happening. Okay. Okay, so let's do one thing. I'm going to assign the questions. Okay. So how many of you are there in the class? Aleph, you have joined. Chakrika, Khadija, and Gauri. All of you are there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Meanwhile,
sir.
I'm trying to connect from my computer. Otherwise, I won't be able to look at the class then. So, Chakrika, you answer question number 1. Question number 2, Khadija, you're going to answer. Gauri, you answer this question. Aleph, you answer question number 5 as of now.
So should we start answering?
Yeah, you guys have to start and answer the questions.
Sir, orally, right?
That is
Human,
human.
sir, okay. Human male germ cell is a sperm cell.
Sperm, correct. Yes, Khadija.
Every month, one mature egg can be released from human ovary.
Good. Okay.
Sir, zygote, open.
That is zygote. Good. Next, Aleph.
Sir, ovary.
That is ovary. Which of the following is not a pair of the male reproductive system? So that is ovary. Good. Part I mean to say. Now, question number 7. Whoever knows the answer of question number 7, answer it. Simple question.
Over.
Ovum.
Sir,
Right now, good. And question number 8, which of the following is the site of fertilization in humans?
so the fallopian tube.
Fallopian tube.
Fallopian tube. Very good. Okay, now. Okay, just let me join from computer. Otherwise, what happens? I won't be able to see how many students are there in the class. Neither will I be able to see the chat section. Okay. So far in the chapter, we have discussed various things. And today, we're going to continue from here. We did learn about the male reproductive organs. We did learn about the female reproductive organs, right? And we did also learned about the menstrual cycle in the previous class. So hope that much was clear to everyone. Then we did also learn about the concept of fertilization. Okay, now today we would be learning about some interesting concepts, like we would be learning about the embryo development. This was something which we were discussing in the last class also. Okay, now so from here we are going to continue. Then we will be learning about in vitro fertilizations also. What are those concepts? Let us start and to understand these concepts. Okay, Gauri, you read the given paragraph.
So embryo develops refers to the different stages in the development of embryo. Embryonic development of plants and animals is varied. Even in animals, every species undergo different stages during embryonic development.
During embryonic development. Okay, so what happens once the fertilization has taken place? So thereby the first thing that will happen, the zygote will be formed, right? Okay, as the zygote will be formed, thereby this zygote will be embedded in the endometrium, that is the wall of the uterus. Okay, all of you know this thing, right? So it will be embedded there. After that, it will develop blood vessels. A connection will develop between this, will get connected to the mother via blood vessels, and via the blood vessels, it will receive all the necessary nutrients, necessary things. Getting it, guys? So that is going to happen. Furthermore, it will start to divide. The cells in it will start to divide. This is the first stage, that is the fertilized egg. Then the cells will start to divide. Then it will reach a two-cell stage. Similarly, it will go on to divide and divide and divide, and there will come a stage when a 4-week fetus will look like this. It will look like this. Getting it, guys? Furthermore, also, you will see that various parts of the body will start to develop. Got this, no? So it takes around 9 months. Getting it? Or around how much? 36 weeks. Here it is mentioned only. Here, like after 20 weeks, this is how the human baby looks like. Getting it? But it takes around 36 weeks for the complete growth of the fetus. Got this, everyone? So that is all about the development of embryo in the humans. Okay, that is all about the development of the embryo in the womb of the mother, right? So here cell would be dividing, a cell would be differentiating, meaning that initially what has happened, cells are dividing, then different groups of cells will further go on to become different types of tissues. Different tissues will make up different organs. So cell is going to multiply. Furthermore, cells will regroup. Cells will make different groups to form different kind of tissues, and that will later form different kind of organs. Getting it, guys? So all this process began when a sperm and egg cell, they merged in the fallopian tube to form a zygote. The sperm fertilized the egg in the fallopian tube to form a zygote. Then furthermore, that zygote would be repeatedly dividing. It will divide and divide and divide and then form a blastocyst, right? This blastocyst, as you see over here, this is a hollow spherical structure. Okay, now this is a hollow spherical structure, as you can see here, and inside this there would be cells also, and there would be some fluid also. Okay, getting it, guys? So when it is of this size, now, then actually it will now be implanted into the wall of the into the wall of the uterus, right? Furthermore, this stage will last up to 3 weeks. Right now, this stage will last up to 3 weeks. After the 4th week, it will go into another stage that will be called as fetus, right? Okay. Also, I did told you, like, development of different organs, different parts of the body takes at different time. In the case of the humans, like in the first month, the heart would be developing, meaning that in the 4th week, organs like heart would have developed. Getting it, Chakrika? In the
Yes.
second month, as you can see here in this image, limbs have started to develop. It has not fully developed, but it has started to develop now. In fact, only hand is visible, leg is not even identifiable properly. Hmm. So in the second month, what we see that after in the second month, that is in the 8th week, by the time of 8th week, we see that the limbs would have started to develop. In the third month, we would see that third month means how many weeks? Yes. Third month means 12 weeks right now. So by the end of 12 weeks, we will get to see that other parts of the body, for example, genital organs would start to develop, meaning that the reproductive organs that would start to develop, not mature, but will start to develop. Got this? In the 5th week means that in the 20th week, right? In the 20th week. So at that time, the this embryo that is being called as fetus. Is fetus here is basically referred is in general it is referred to the unborn baby. Okay, now so this fetus would have developed hairs on its head. Hairs would develop on the head. Okay, and it will also start to show some movement. It will start to move. Finally, in the sixth month, not in the last one, but in the sixth month, eyelashes will start to develop. Eyelids will start to separate. Okay, and the body will be covered in a layer of fine hair. Ever seen a newly born baby? Have you guys ever seen a newly born baby?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You would have observed that the baby would be covered in a very it would be covered in fine hair. You would have observed that. So that is the thing. Okay. So hope you guys have understood what I've been trying to say. Although it's a complicated process whereby an egg is developing into an embryo right now, and during the first 8 to 10 weeks of the development, the development is in such a manner that it is shifting from a single cell zygote into a fetus which is um, quite complex, which has well differentiated organs in it. Getting it, guys? So that is the case about it. Furthermore, we are going to learn about in vitro fertilization and why it is done.
So,
Yes.
so are you not going to write anything for embryo development?
No, for this one, I'm going to tell you in a minute what you guys
Okay,
have
sir.
to write. Okay, now.
Yes, sir.
So in vitro fertilization, it's kind of a complex procedure that can help people achieve pregnancy. Right now, like for those women who can't get pregnant in the natural way, so thereby in vitro fertilization is done. So it's a kind of assisted reproductive technology which would be combining the egg and sperm in a lab outside the body of the woman. Getting it? What is happening here? So let us understand about the steps of in vitro fertilization, how it happens. So first of all, look at the first step in the image. So ovarian stimulation hormone therapy is done, meaning that first of all, some injections would be given to the woman that will stimulate the release of the ovary. Is the first step clear to everyone?
So can you explain it again?
Yeah. See, some some injections would be given to the woman, and that injection would stimulate the release of ovary in the female body. Okay, now it will release the it will stimulate the release of ovary. Is that clear now? It is kind of
Yes.
triggering the release of ovary. Ovum, I should be saying ovum actually, right now. So first step is stimulation. First step is that of stimulation.
So should we write this down?
Yeah, you guys can start writing that down. Okay, now. By the way, before writing it down, just write this one paragraph. Okay, now. Write this paragraph. Do let me know once you would be done. Yes, everyone done?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, I'm just waiting for a few more minutes. Now in this now, see, look at the first row. The images that you see in the first row. Here, the parts of the embryo are not identifiable. Can you identify any parts in the first row?
No, sir.
No, no parts can be identified. Okay. Then this one, look at the second row. These are also embryo. All of these are embryo basically, right now. All of these are embryo. Like embryo is basically once the fertilization has taken place, once it will start to grow, then the cells will start to form, cells will start to grow, it will start to divide, and it will form different groups, and each groups would start to develop into different tissues and organs. That structure will be called as embryo. Like what we learned, that zygote that would be formed after the fertilization process, it will divide itself in a repeated manner, and it will form a ball of cells like this blastocyst. As you see, it will form a ball of cells. Okay, now these ball of cells then will further divide. These ball of cells will then form different groups, and each groups then starts developing into different tissues and organs. Then this structure will be called as embryo. Okay, na? Okay. But the embryo whose part is identifiable, that will be called as fetus. Let me tell you the difference between the fetus and embryo. Many times it is confusing to some students. Embryo basically, as I said, that as you have seen here, the zygote repeatedly in a repeated manner, it will start to grow. The cells here have multiplied, and it starts to grow till it forms a ball of cell. Okay. Then these ball of cells will further, the cells inside them will now form different groups. Okay, now like this group, let's say, will form head. This group will form limbs. This group will form brain. This group will form heart. This group will form lungs. Like that. Getting it? What I'm trying to say? Oh. So this structure will be then called as embryo. This structure will be called as embryo. Got this? Now, when zygote is of this size, when it has grown to this size, it is being called as embryo, and then this embryo will plant itself into the uterine wall, into the uterus. Just let me take one image here.
Sir, I can't hear you.
Yes. This one over here. Okay, let us try to understand this diagram over here. All of you can see my screen properly?
Yes, sir.
So see this blastocyst over here? Same blastocyst is being shown in this image as well. Okay, now it's the same thing. Now here, this is the wall of the uterus. That's the zoomed view of a uterus wall. I'm talking about this wall over here.
Also, what were you explaining before I got disconnected?
Okay, we haven't missed anything right now. Okay, now, so this is the wall of the uterus, guys. Okay. Okay, what we were learning that once the fertilization would have taken place, so zygote will be formed. Now this zygote will, the cells of the zygote will divide in a repeated manner. It would divide until it forms a structure which will look like a ball of cell right now. Then that will be called as embryo. Okay, now more specifically, at this time it is also called as blastocyst, but This is called as embryo more specifically. So this embryo will now implant itself into the wall of the uterus. It will be embedded. It will be attached to the uterus wall. Got this so far? So embryo will embed itself into the wall of the uterus. This is the wall of uterus. Okay. And then it will continue to grow and develop. Right? Very soon, the body parts like legs, feet, eyes, it will start to develop. Right now. Then the embryo whose body parts are visible, are identifiable, then it is being called as fetus. So here it is called as fetus now. Fetus, 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 and fetus. So the embryo whose body parts are identifiable, they are called as fetus. So I'm writing one or two things in it. Just write that down, otherwise that would be missed. All of you guys have understood this procedure, how it happens or not?
Yes, sir.
Everyone understood this now? Good. So first of all, write the definition of embryo. Then you would be writing the definition of fetus. Then we are also going to learn about the difference between embryo and fetus. So talking about embryo over here, as we saw that, the previous image here we saw that it's basically a ball of cells, as you can see over here. So it is formed by the repeated division of the cells of a zygote. So it is formed by the, you guys have to write this down, okay? It is formed by the repeated division of the cells of zygote. Okay. Furthermore, a fetus will be formed by the further growth and further development of the embryo. Understanding the difference, what I'm saying. So it is formed by the development and growth of an embryo. In which one the body parts would be identifiable? In embryo or fetus? In which one body parts are identifiable?
Yes.
In fetus, na? Good. Okay, now. Furthermore, an embryo is the unborn baby in the uterus of the mother in the early stages of the development. Right now, like this is the early stage of the development, and this one can be called as the later stages of development, where the body parts are identifiable. So it is the unborn baby in the early stages of its development. Furthermore, talking about the fetus, it is also an unborn baby in the uterus, but it is in the later stages of the development. Got this now, right? And that would be visible after probably 4 to 6 weeks, right now, properly. So it is the unborn baby inside the uterus in the later stages of development. Furthermore, an embryo is multicellular, while a fetus is also multicellular. Both of them are multicellular. Getting this? But here in the embryo, you won't be able to observe any organs. But here, in the case of fetus, we can observe the organs of the structure. Getting it, guys? You can observe the organs in that. So hope that is clear to everyone. If there's any confusion in it, please let me know. So write down one more thing, that the body features are not identifiable because they haven't developed. Okay, so here the body features are identifiable. Body features like legs, limbs, head, uh, other structures, hair are identifiable. Write down this much, then we are going to continue further. Yes, everyone turn your cameras on in the class. Yes, everyone done?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We can have 2 more minutes.
Okay, okay. Also, the first stage of the baby, that is embryo, it will last up to 8 weeks. Okay, now this is going to last up to 8 weeks. Here in this image, it is not shown, but the embryonic stage lasts up to how many? Up to 8 weeks. Okay, now. So write that point also. It lasts up to 8 weeks. So here you will write down it lasts from 8 weeks till birth. You guys understood this point, this last point?
Yes, sir.
But I didn't understand the last point of fetus.
Okay. The last point of fetus. See, the here it says that the embryonic stage, where the parts of the body are not clearly identifiable. So it will last till the 8 weeks. Okay, now. So for 8 weeks, the body parts would not be clearly identifiable. And till 8 weeks, it is the early stage of the development. Getting it? After 8 weeks, then after 8 weeks, the body parts would be clearly identifiable. Right now, then fetus is fetus. It has entered the fetus stage, where the stage is going to last from the 8 weeks till the birth. Like from 8 weeks till the 36th week. Getting it now? So this stage, at this stage, the baby is being called as fetus because the body parts are clearly identifiable. Yes.
So the embryo it lasts for 2 months, and then the rest 7 months it's the fetus.
Exactly. That is the case. Okay. No? So the whole thing, we can summarize it up like this. Like you have the, first of all, zygote formation takes place where the egg is fertilized by an ovum. Egg is fertilized by a sperm. The zygote will convert into embryo. Embryo converts into fetus, right? Then fetus basically, then you have the newly born baby. Then we have the newly born baby. Getting it now? So zygote was it was formed due to fusion of male and female gametes. Embryo is formed by the repeated cell division. Embryo is formed by the repeated cell division, right now. And fetus, it is formed by the growth and development of the embryo further, right? Also, one more thing, guys, like this, like talking about the zygote. Zygote would be found where? It would be found in the fallopian tube, no? The site of the fertilization, right? Okay. Furthermore, the embryo, it will be found in the uterus and it will embed itself into the wall of the uterine, into the wall of uterus. Is that clear to both all of you? Right? And
Yes, sir.
fetus, we know it will be found inside this uterus, right? Now, because the embryo would have enlarged, its size would have increased, and further it would have occupied all the space inside the uterus. Zygote is the beginning of the formation of a baby, right? Zygote is the beginning of the formation of a baby. Then embryo is the unborn baby in the uterus in the early stage of its development, while fetus would be the fetus is the human baby. This is fetus over here. And is it in the early stage or the later stage? This fetus is
Later.
later stage of its development. Very good. Okay, is the fetus multicellular or unicellular?
Multicellular.
Multicellular.
Multicellular. While the zygote, that is unicellular or multicellular?
Multicellular.
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 That is multicellular, obviously. Getting it. And the same thing is for the embryo also, right? That is also multicellular, but it is much more developed than the zygote, right? Furthermore, fetus is also multicellular, but it will be further much more developed than the embryo, meaning that the body features like hands, eyes, head, it can be identified easily. So that is the thing. Hope it was clear to everyone. If anyone has any doubt in it, please let me know. Yes, any doubts to anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, everyone done writing this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we are going to learn about the steps of in vitro fertilization. So a very basic question should come in your mind, that why it is being done. Yeah. Anyone thought about this, that why the in vitro fertilization is done? Yes, Alif.
If
Why in
somebody is
vitro
infertile,
fertilization is done? Yeah.
when natural reproduction is not like
Hmm.
available.
Okay. Or anyone else?
If somebody is infertile,
Infertile, right now. So the reason why it is done, because if a woman can't conceive naturally, meaning that if naturally the secretion of ovum does not takes place right now, so thereby hormone stimulation has to be done. Ovarian more specifically called as ovarian stimulation hormone therapy, whereby some injection would be given to the uh, female body, to the female, and thereby that injection will stimulate the release of the ovum. Getting it now? So in vitro fertilization, it's a procedure that involves fertilizing egg with sperm in a laboratory dish. It will be done in a laboratory dish, right? Furthermore, it's a complex procedure. It's a complex series of procedure that can lead to pregnancy. There's not 100% guarantee of the pregnancy, but that it can lead to pregnancy if it's done in a proper manner, right? So it's kind of a treatment for infertility, a condition
So,
in which the woman can't get pregnant. Yes.
so is it applicable or is it possible for someone who is able to conceive?
Who is able to conceive for them?
Yes, sir.
But for them, why it would be done? Why someone would go through all this hectic process, kind of? I mean to say that if someone can conceive naturally, some women can conceive naturally, then there's no need to do in vitro fertilization.
But
In
then
vitro
is it
fertilization are
possible?
done only for the women who are infertile. Yeah. Is it possible? Yeah, it is possible, of course.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is possible, right? So it's basically the same thing like the fusion of the woman's egg and the man's sperm, but in a laboratory dish. Okay, now you guys understand now what is a laboratory dish?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now So that is the thing where it would be taking place. It would be simply a glass structure like this, where all of it would be taking place. Hope you guys can understand what I'm trying to draw right now. It would be a glass structure like this, where the sperm and ovum would be fused. So talking about the steps, first step is that of stimulation. You guys now start writing it. First of all, give the topic in vitro fertilization. I here would be capital, not small, okay? In vitro fertilization. Okay. Then also keep on listening to what I'm saying if possible. So the first step would be stimulation, right? Now in the second step, that is of egg retrieval, meaning that egg would be picked up. Egg would be picked up here. So there would be a minor surgery done on the body of the female, via which the egg would be removed from the body of the female right now, because it's not practically possible to insert an inject at this place and then directly via the vagina. It is not possible right now. So thereby a small incision will be done, and via that small incision the eggs would be taken out. Got this, guys? So eggs have been taken out and being stored into this. Okay. So the second step is called as egg retrieval. So here a minor surgery would be done right now. Via the minor surgery, the egg would be removed from the body of the woman. Now, in the third step, the sperm would be prepared. Right now, the third here, what would be happening? Like the man's sperm is taken out. The man's sperm would be taken out and it is being prepared here. Got this, guys?
Sir,
So, yes.
what does stimulation mean?
Stimulation means that, like for example, normally we get to hear this term in stimulation, like when you trigger something. Stimulation refers to triggering of something. Getting it, guys? Stimulation here would refer to triggering of something. For example, when in many situations people in a fight would say that don't stimulate me, I would do something, I would do something really bad. Don't trigger me, I would do something really bad to you, like that. So here we are stimulating by giving some injections. By giving some injections, we stimulate the body to release the ovum. Getting it? Normally what happens, naturally ovums would be released, but since the woman has some issues, there's an infertility, so thereby via the help of some hormone therapy, the ovum would be released here right now. Just like in other sense also, you get to see stimulus. Like in the case of plants, you get to see the stimulus. Like for example, when you touch the leaves of certain plants, it will fold. The branches of the plants would grow towards the sunlight. In that manner, I guess you can understand what I'm saying. So that is stimulation.
So,
Yes.
so how is the sperm collected?
How is the sperm collected? So
Yes, sir.
okay, sperm would basically be collected here from the male body, basically by the ejaculation. The male ejaculation, thereby the male would be ejaculating in a test tube right now. So it would be collected and would be kept in a medium where the sperm cells will not die. It would be kept in such a medium where the sperm cells will not die. Getting it? What I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So third step would be of the sperm preparation. With the sperm, by the male ejaculation, the sperm would be collected in this and it would be kept in a such a manner that the sperm cells does not die. Okay. Furthermore, laboratory, all this process would be happening very quick. It's not like after 1 hour, 2 hour, all this process can take place. Like once the sperm cells have been taken place and once the eggs have been picked up from the female body, then the laboratory staffs would be quickly doing the egg fertilization. That would be taking place on a china dish, on a laboratory dish. This one over here is the laboratory dish. So far it is clear now, guys. We have taken the
Yes,
egg
sir.
from the female body, we have taken the sperm cells, now sperm cells, and now on this laboratory dish they are going to be fused, right? And when egg fertilization happens, all of you know, the zygote will be formed. right? The zygote would be formed over here. Furthermore, as you can see, this whole step here is of egg fertilization. Okay, now the one that I have circled over here, as you can see over here, the sperms have been put into this. Okay, now also, it's not like the fertilization is taking place in the natural way. Via a needle, the sperm cells have been put inside this ovum. Notice this over here. The healthy sperm cells would be picked out from here, and that would be inserted into this ovum. All of you getting it? What I'm trying to say, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So it can be done in that manner. Okay. Furthermore, the zygote will not develop into the embryo. The zygote is further going to develop into the embryo. Now, the laboratory staff should be regularly checking the embryo to make sure that it is growing properly. For the next 7 to 8 days, they would be regularly checking the embryo, right? Now,
So
there
then
are.
what about the nourishment?
What about the
Nourishment.
nourishment? Yeah, talking about the nourishment, the growth here is not taking place in an external medium. Via a cannula, via another syringe, this embryo would be put back into the uterus of the woman. Embryo would be transferred then. So the here
So
the
it will be done
embryos are being.
immediately.
Mhm.
So it will be done immediately.
No, it is usually not done immediately. It is first allowed to grow for 6 to 7 days, because there are high chances that if it were to done immediately, it might die. So thereby,
Yes,
it
sir.
is allowed to grow in a nutrient-rich medium. So it will
Yes,
be
sir.
allowed first of all to grow. So embryos would be then placed into the womb of the female body. It is being placed via this cannula. This will be usually performed after 5 days of fertilization that has taken place. Okay, and all of this is is being done in a place where the temperature and humidity would be maintained. Okay, na? Because due to atmospheric contamination, also the embryo can be damaged or it can die. If there is too much of humidity, too much of heat in the room where it is being done, that can affect the embryo. You guys getting? Why you guys haven't turned your cameras on in the class? I feel like I'm talking to the camera only. Yes, Alif, Chakrika, Gauri, and others also. So the whole process is clear to everyone or not? Also, the embryo here now, it will be embedded into the wall of the uterus, into the uterine wall. It will be uterine wall. It will be embedded, isn't it, guys? And further, now it will grow just like the development of other embryos takes place in the just like the development of embryo takes place naturally. In the same manner, this is going to take place here. So the procedure of in vitro fertilization, is that clear to everyone or not? Please let me know.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes,
If
sir.
anyone has any slightest doubt in it, please let me know. Anyone?
No.
Okay. So the third step was sperm preparation. Okay. After this, what would be the fourth process? Fourth step,
Egg fertilization.
egg fertilization. Good. Egg would be fertilized here, right? Okay. Then in the fifth stage, it would be the development
Embryo
of
development.
embryo development. Good. So embryo development, right? Okay. Now you guys can think about, as Chakrika asked about the nourishment of the embryo here right now. So embryo here would be kind of kept in a medium, in a nutrient-rich medium, from which it would be getting all the necessary nutrients. So it is kind of kept in an embryo culture or something like that. So it would be basically kept in a nutrient-rich medium. That's how in its development it would be getting all the nourishment. Okay, no? Then
Yes, sir.
sixth would be the embryo transfer. Embryo transfer into the womb of the mother. So hope that is clear. Okay, no? Okay. Now the question is that are there any problems related with in vitro fertilization? Are there some problems? See, there's a in some cases it has a risk of having more than one babies. Huh? And if a woman becomes pregnant with multiple babies, thereby it could lead to, like, in many times you would have observed or would have heard that after pregnancy, women then suffers from pregnancy related high blood pressure or diabetes. Huh? Ever heard of this? Like,
No, sir.
no. In many cases, what might happen now? In vitro fertilization, sometimes it kind of raises the risk of having more than one baby. In some cases, more than one baby can be formed. Okay, now. So that will further put pressure on the body of the mother. Furthermore, pregnancy related high blood pressure problems or diabetes can also occur. So I'm just, no need to write that down. I'm just generally saying you. Okay, now. So it can lead to some problems. Okay. Everyone done writing this down?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now we are going to talk about the different types of fertilization. So fertilization, as we have studied, normally in the case of humans we have studied. Okay. But fertilization in the case of the humans, the fertilization is taking place inside the body, right? Now it was taking place in the inside of the body, but in some organisms it takes place outside the body also. Like for example, in the case of frogs, in the case of toads, in the case of fishes, huh, what happens? The fertilization of the male and female sex cells takes place outside the body, right? Like you would have seen in, particularly in the rainy season, frogs, toads, or some other organisms would reproduce. They would be like, normally when you get to see the frogs, in which season you get to see the frogs?
Rainy.
Rainy season.
In the rainy season, no? In the monsoon. Good. So why does that happen? Because generally at that time what they would be doing, or in other months of the year also, but generally in monsoon there is much availability of water, right? So frogs would be reproducing by laying eggs in a pond water or in other stagnant water. They would first of all lay their eggs. Okay. See, so in a pond water, in a pond, they would lay their eggs. The female frogs would be laying their eggs of female frog would be laid in the stagnant water body. Okay, not in a running water body. Okay, or if the it's a slow running water body, like slow stream or pond, there it would be laying the eggs. Because if they were to lay their eggs in the rivers, fast stream rivers, so thereby the egg would be flown from would be swept from that place to another, right? It would be carried by the water body. So females would be laying hundreds of they would be laying hundreds or thousands of eggs together in a water body. It would be appear as a jelly like structure. All the eggs would be combined together like this. Okay, no? All the eggs would be in a jelly like structure. It would look like this. Okay. Furthermore, this jelly like substance would be guarding them, and it would be holding all the eggs together. It would guard and hold all the cells together, all the egg cells together. Then as the female frog lays their eggs, then the male frog would be depositing the sperms over them. They would be depositing the sperms over them. Then the sperms would be fertilizing it. As you can see in this image, what do you observe in this image? Look in the first image. You see a jelly-like structure, right? And what does it contain? It contains the eggs. That contains the eggs. And as the egg would be fertilized, then as you can see in the second image over here, these eggs have been fertilized, and now the growth of the eggs have started to take place. These two images are different from each other. Yes?
So, sir, each egg has a jelly-like structure around it?
No. It's not like that. Like all the cells together are covered with a jelly-like structure. You can see this jelly-like structure is covering all of them. Look at the first image, first of all. All of them are covered, but all of them are like together covered with the jelly-like structure. They are not separately covered. Okay. It's like that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So here what has happened? Suppose these are the sperm cells of the frog, male frog. So this would go on to fertilize it. So this would go on to fertilize these eggs. And after fertilization, as you can see over here, the tadpoles have started to form. You guys have studied about metamorphosis? There you'd have studied about the life cycle of a frog. Yes? No one?
I think yes. In previous classes.
In the previous classes, you have studied that. So this whole process of fertilization is taking place outside the female body right now. So here, since it is taking place outside, so thereby it is called as external fertilization. When the sperms would come in contact with the eggs in the water. Okay. Although the eggs are in large numbers, in large numbers, but only few of them is later on going to manage to survive. Only few of them will be able to survive. Getting it now? There are several factors that hinders their growth, that hinders that kind of restricts or kind of hinders the process of external fertilization, like in this case of frog. For example, they are being exposed to the rainfall also. Hmm. Wind, other animals might eat these eggs. If the water flows from that area to another, and there were to be no male frogs that would deposit their sperms over them, then the fertilization is not going to take place. Or winds might blow it from one place to another. Animals might eat this. Huh? So there are several problems related to this kind of fertilization. Is this clear to everyone or not? Please let me know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear? If anyone has any doubt, please let me know. So it can be of two types. The first type is internal, as we have studied. We are going to revisit that in a minute. Internal fertilization. Write down this. Another one is external fertilization. Write down this much, then we are going to continue further. Also, these eggs are very delicate. These eggs are very delicate, and they are not covered with any hard shell like structure. Getting it, guys? These eggs are very delicate, and they are not covered with a hard shell. So they are being held together by a layer of jelly. Layer of jelly. Is everyone done?
Yes.
If done, then write the following in the external fertilization. External fertilization in frogs and toads. So here what happens? A female frog, write down this, a female frog releases her eggs into the water body, which is stagnant, which is not moving that much, which is stagnant or has a slow stream. Slow stream means that it has a slow movement. Okay. Then the male frog releases the sperm over the eggs, and this results into fertilization. Results to fertilization. And since this takes place outside the female body, then it is considered as external fertilization. Furthermore, the females release hundreds of thousands of eggs at a single time. The females releases hundreds of eggs at a single time. The eggs do not have any hard shells that would protect them. The eggs do not have any hard shells that will protect them. They are being held together by a jelly-like fluid. So they are held together. They are held together by a jelly-like substance. Jelly-like substance that guards them. That guards them and holds them together. Okay. Furthermore, due to several risks, only few of them manages to survive. Due to several like hindrances, for example, like water movement, or it could be eaten up by the animals, or wind. Only few of them manage to survive. So since only few of them manages to survive, thereby thousands, hundreds or thousands of eggs would be released at the single time. More number of eggs would be released, so it's likely that more numbers of eggs would be fertilized, and it's a likely chance that more numbers of fertilized eggs would grow further. Getting it? While in the case of uh, internal fertilization, not that much of eggs are released. Only one egg is released. Right now, only one egg is released. While the number of sperm cells would be in millions, as in the case of the humans, right now. But the number of egg cell in the case of internal fertilization, as in the case of human body, was only one. But here the egg cells are not one, but in hundreds or thousands in number. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
In the next class, you'll be learning about internal fertilization in the hens. Right now, the hens would be reproducing by the laying the eggs. Right. So there we will learn how it takes place. Also, in the case of this external fertilization, the egg is not covered with any hard shell. While in the case of the hen, where internal fertilization takes place, so the shell of the egg would be covered with a hard protective layer. The egg would be covered with a hard protective layer, right now. So that would be enclosing it, and it would be protecting it from the outer atmosphere and outer predators, right now. Everyone done writing this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. By the way, one more important thing. This in vitro fertilization, which we have learned, the baby that is developed in this via this in vitro fertilization procedure, those babies are called as test tube babies. Okay, now the babies that are born with the IVF process, they are called as test tube babies. Okay, they call as test tube babies. Keep that in mind. So in some women, what happens? The oviduct would be blocked. This oviduct or also the fallopian tube that is blocked. So thereby they are unable to, the eggs would not pass into the uterus because if it is blocked, getting it guys? Right now. So this means that they are not able to bear the babies because of the blocked fallopian tubes. Okay, Chakrika, Khadija, everyone.
Yes, sir.
But due to the process of IVF, in short, also called as IVF or in vitro fertilization, they are able to bear the babies, right now. So here, as we have learned, the freshly released eggs would be fusing with the male sperms, right now, and all of it is happening externally, right? Okay, so can this be considered as an external fertilization or internal fertilization?
External.
External fertilization.
External fertilization, obviously, right now. So the zygote that would be formed, it would be allowed to develop outside the female body, okay, now in a safe condition, right? Also, the babies that would be born via IVF, those babies are called as test tube babies, okay, now because in most of the cases, the development of the embryo, it would be put in a test tube. This embryo is put inside a test tube, okay, now that's why many times it is also called as test tube babies. Okay, anyone knows about this, that